When Joe Biden insisted there was no daylight between him and Kamala Harris, apparently he needed to whip out his aviator shades. The former vice president going scorched earth on her former boss and his team, calling his decision to stay in the race reckless. She also laments in the first excerpt from her new book, quote, "Getting anything positive said about my work or any defense against untrue attacks was almost impossible." This is delivering for what her publisher probably wanted from her. But, you know, it's amazing to me. I mean, Dan, I'm sorry, but I know that you don't want to talk about this.
I just walk out.
But we got to talk about this. What do you make of, A, the decision to do this, and B, what she said, which is that it's the fault of the White House, the Biden side of the White House, that she wasn't given enough credit?
So look, a few things here. First, I was lucky enough to work with both the vice president and the president pretty closely. A couple things. One, she was not, I just want to clarify, she was not calling President Biden reckless. She was calling the decision that it wasn't a larger conversation to be reckless. I saw two people in the White House who worked incredibly closely together. Joe Biden himself and the vice president had incredible affection for one another. Frankly, I saw the vice president during those 107 days, and I saw a badass who never let the pressure of the moment get to her, who, yes, held her entire staff to an incredibly high standard, because that's what a president does. And the criticism she got for that and the turnover, if you can't stand the heat, then get out of the kitchen. And I don't blame her for having a high standard given the moment. My last point, all these anonymous sources lobbing bombs at the president, the vice president, are not helping anyone. And I would tell them directly, stop being a coward. If you're going to do it, do what the vice president did and put your name against it.
Well, look, I mean, she dropped the biggest bomb of them all.
And her name was firmly...
She dropped the biggest bomb of them all. I mean, let me just read this part where she talks about the border czar narrative. She says, "It seems as if they decided I should be knocked down a little bit more. When Republicans mischaracterized my role as border czar, no one in the White House comms team helped me to effectively push back and explain what I had really been tasked to do. Instead, I shouldered the blame for the porous border, an issue that had proved intractable for Democratic and Republican administrations alike. No one around the president advocated, give her something she can win with."
Because looking on the outside and someone who does Homeland Security, she was never the border czar. She was the flow czar. She was to look at
flow across the border czar.
No, because if you know the field, there's a difference between flow and enforcement. So let me tell you this.
But let me ask you this.
She got stuck with DHS's bad narrative, and I agree with her.
I also think she outranks the cabinet.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in what world, why is that distinction even a distinction in a White House? I'm not understanding
because,
this. Because if you are president and you understand that immigration is, the country looks at immigration as a whole issue, and they don't care about the root causes.
I agree with you. I agree with you there, but I wasn't supportive of the Biden administration.
I just think that, I mean, from a policy perspective, that feels like, okay, that makes sense. But from a political perspective, that never made any sense.
I am with you, but also from an operational perspective. The Biden administration finally changed 6 months before the election. But there were Democrats very critical of them as well, because they had gotten it in their head that it was just like a Fox News narrative about the borders. You cannot have a country that, even who's experiencing immigration is out of control, and Trump walked into that vacuum. So there were Democrats who also were very, very critical.
A quick last word, Tim.
Just wanted to say that the only other presidents who faced an issue similar to that of Joe Biden were Lyndon Johnson and Harry Truman, and neither of them had been formally nominated again when they decided to step away. They made their decisions on their own, and it's historically the way presidents do it. I'm not sure that any president would have enlarged the group of consultants, because that's politically dangerous. And they certainly wouldn't have involved the person who's going to benefit most from the decision, the vice president. So I'm not sure under what scenario more people would have been involved. And frankly, the issue is the question whether the president himself and the first lady decided that this was the best thing for the country. And if they did, they're acting like every other first couple in our history, like it or not.
It's an interesting point, because, I mean, first of all, the only person who could allow this to be a bigger conversation is the president himself. And she was obliquely critiquing him for not doing that. By making it just something that he decided within his nuclear family.